Senator Wyden.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Mr. Secretary, around here we use the Joint Committee on Taxation to analyze key legislation. And they took a look at the House bill, the bill that you and the administration are in favor of. And the Joint Committee on Taxation found that under the House bill, high earners who bring in several $1,000,000 a year will get tax breaks of $250,000. This comes from the people that we asked to do the analysis. So if we got to make choices, who are you with? Are you with those high earners that the Joint Committee on Taxation found? Or do you think it's more important that 2 million hungry kids in America have enough to eat?
Senator, I think you're playing a game of semantics here. You're using absolute.
Well, why don't you just answer the question?
Why don't you ask an honest question?
It's Joint Committee on Taxation,
because we are talking absolutes, and the answer is percentages. With TCJA, the top 10% share of taxes went from 37% to 45%.
I asked a very simple question based on the independent scorekeepers about who you value, and you're not responding, and I guess that's your constitutional right. Let me move on to tariffs. So at your nomination hearing, I asked you whether Americans would pay the blanket tariffs that President Trump wanted to impose, and you said no. Now, since then, a number of analysts have said these tariffs are going to hit American families like a wrecking ball, something like $2,500 a year. Major companies like Walmart, Mattel, and Ford have all suggested they're going to need to raise consumer prices as the tariffs hit them. Some companies have already had to raise prices, like Stanley Black and Decker. So here's what you said. Nobody's making this stuff up. Here's what you said. Walmart will be absorbing some of the tariffs. Some may get passed on to consumers. Your words. So, another chance on the issue. Do American consumers pay the tariffs?
Again, Senator, you're cherry picking because Walmart makes decisions based on their customers. Two other very large retailers, and this is not an advertisement for them, Amazon and Home Depot, have chosen not to pass on tariffs. And there seems to be a new version of TDS, which I would call tariff derangement syndrome. And many on your side seem disappointed that there is no inflation to date. As a matter of fact, we saw the best inflation numbers since 2020. So there has been nothing passed on. There has been no tariff recession. So no inflation, no recession due to tariffs.
So let the record show that once again, the Secretary of Treasury doesn't think American consumers are paying the tariffs. We say to all those people who are trying to pay medical bills and food bills and the like that are still going up, they know they're paying tariffs. Let me move on to an issue.
I'm sorry, Senator, but
it's my time, Mr. Secretary.
I'm sorry, Senator, but the data doesn't show that.
Okay, we can have a difference of opinion.
Data.
The Senate is coping with health care choices that are enormously important. Just as a matter of your thinking, what do you think is the largest employer in rural America?
Sorry?
What do you think is the largest employer in rural America?
The largest single employer?
No, the sector.
The largest industry?
The sector, yes.
I would assume it would be agriculture.
It is rural health care. And it is why all of us up here disagree so strongly with what this administration is doing. And the tax bill is going to accelerate the closure of rural hospitals, people who basically are the key to surviving in rural, life. And our colleagues, Senator Markey, Senator Merkley, Senator Schumer, are going to release new data that hundreds of rural hospitals across the country stand to lose under the Republican reconciliation bill, which apparently you guys don't know is going to clobber the big economic engine in rural America. So I'd like to hear your thoughts about whether you're willing to make changes to protect a crucial area of the American economy. In fact, I think it is fair to say almost all of us up here, the chairman and I, for example, we have the honor to represent a big chunk of the rural West. And I want to know if you're willing to make changes so that we can protect the economic of survival of these rural communities, which means their hospitals.
We are quite satisfied with the healthcare portion of this and the adjustments to Medicaid.
I would just say to colleagues, my time is up. When you're home over the break and the like, ask your rural hospitals if they're satisfied with what they're going to get in the House changes, because I think they'll tell you they feel like they're going to get hit by a wrecking ball, and that'll happen in Kansas and Oregon and all across the land. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.